And welcome back to FH4 Gaming. My name's Morgan and this is Forza Horizon 4. And we're just jumping in, doing some races, random things. That's about it. I've got a few new challenges here. There's a speed zone we can go and do. Giving the Aston Martin a test. Front bumper
In
works.
400 meters, turn right. Turn right. At the roundabout, take the first exit. At the roundabout, take the first exit.
This car is currently stock, so there's no mods done to it. So, seeing how she goes.
In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right. In 400 meters, turn left.
Almost there.
Turn left.
That'll buff right out. Not the best start to the speed zone.
Turn around when it is safe to do so. In 100 meters,
We'll head back and try
turn
that again.
left. You have arrived at your destination.
Ooh, close but nice to go.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
What else we got around here? Another one there, but it's on dirt. I'm guessing this car's not going to be great. Another one up here. There's also that jump. Give that a go. I may need a quicker car for some of these, but let's see how the old Aston goes. Or the new Aston, I should say.
You have arrived at your destination.
run up than that.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Alrighty.
You have arrived at your destination.
Pretty average run. What was the other one up here we're looking at?
Turn around
The old
when it is
speed
safe
zone.
to do so.
Need something with more acceleration. Get off those tight turns better.
You have arrived at your destination.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Where's the filter? New seasonal. Oh, still got all those ones we didn't do for the world's fastest delivery and all that stuff. Drift Club, not a fan of drift. Okay, interesting. I'd definitely done some of the world's fastest delivery ones. I didn't think I'd finished it though. Either way, let's hook down here. Start one of these off.
Great to see you. We're shooting a documentary about car culture in the UK, and I need a second driver. You've made a name for yourself, and it would be great to have you aboard. It's simple. You drive, I tell the story. Let's do it.
Absolutely, the old Aston. Keep it above 113.
From Aston Martin to McLaren and Bentley, Great Britain is home to over a century of automotive excellence. I'm Rebecca Dawson. Welcome to British Racing Green, a documentary celebrating that history. The Aston Martin DB5 Vantage was the quintessential Grand Tourer of the 1960s, combining British engineering and Italian design.
Nice wood grain steering wheel.
The
Too much
Vantage
speed.
featured side-draft carburetors and a refined camshaft profile, capable of a blistering top speed of 162 miles an hour in 1964. The clean lines of Superleggera's bodywork, reclining seats and wool carpets created a car that was luxurious as well as fast.
That'll buff right out.
This car would form the basis for the DB range, with later cars improving on the design in many ways. But none would ever achieve the sheer iconic perfection of the Vantage.
In 200 meters, turn left.
For all of its beauty and engineering
Slow this down a bit.
perfection, only 65 of these beautiful machines would ever be built. If you own one, you own a piece of British history.
In 200 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
The silver DB5 would be immortalized in half a century of cinema. The classic Aston Martin. But in 2016, a new DB was unveiled, heralding the dawn of Aston Martin's second century. The DB11 is the first production turbocharged Aston Martin. But is it a worthy successor to that legacy?
Let's find
The
out.
short answer is yes. It's bold, responsive, and agile. It's perhaps the best GT chassis in the world. And listen to it.
Supposed to have above 160 with this one, so
Able
a
to
fair
hit
bit
60
faster.
miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, the DB11's 5.2-litre twin-turbo V12 boasts a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. The DB11 is not the fastest car in the world, but then it's not trying to be. It's sophisticated, effortless luxury. It's an Aston Martin. The DB11's front strakes channel air to create a virtual spoiler, providing downforce without compromising the car's clean lines. Brilliant.
Keep dipping below that speed limit.
Most importantly, I think, the DB11 proves that Aston Martin is ready for another century of beautiful cars. And I can't wait. Beautiful as they are, Aston Martins are only one of many cars made in the United Kingdom. Let's see what else is out there.
Actually surprised we got 3 stars for that. More than a couple of dips below the speed limit. Not complaining though. What's next in the old story?
This is shaping up nicely. Time for a change of pace, though. At least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover, and we'll be starting out with the Type 3.
Fair enough.
Land Rover, the British sports utility vehicle. But before that, they were actual utility vehicles. Solid, tough trucks, unstoppable over almost any terrain.
In 400 meters, turn left.
The
Well, we
Land
put our
Rover
tuxedo
Type
on for
3
this.
marks the point where that shift begins. And we'll be looking at what that meant. Land Rovers have taken on almost every task imaginable. They've been generators, tractors and ambulances. They've brought peace and carried medicines to disaster zones. They've even been buses. Over 500,000 Series 3s were built, and over 70% of those are still on the road today. They were extensively exported and built under license abroad. Belgium, South Africa, even Australia and New Zealand. With a robust chassis and signature Land Rover engineering, the Type 3 also marked the first time that buyers could choose interior options, like seat box protectors and cubby boxes. That trend continued, and by 1982, Land Rover were offering the county spec Type 3. Leisure drivers could choose from such luxuries as all-cloth seats, soundproofing and tinted glass. The trend was increasingly clear, and the future of the Land Rover was starting to take shape. If you squinted, you could already see the shape of the first sports utility vehicle, the Range Rover. While the stock Type 3 would never be particularly fast uphill, there is almost no hill that it couldn't climb, or down for that matter, if you put a proper winch on it.
There the old girl. Get up there.
In 1978, a Series 3 was custom built for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It only had 1,892 miles on the clock when it was auctioned into private hands. And it was in perfect condition. It would be. After all, she trained as a mechanic in the 1940s and will likely remain the only royal able to strip and rebuild an engine.
Turn left. In
Keep the
200
speed up.
meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Along with the Range Rover, others would follow. Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none of them were a replacement for the Type 3. They were a different kind of car. The Type 3 was arguably the first sports utility vehicle. An evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this.
The
The
bowler.
Bowler Nemesis, an off-road racing vehicle that turned into a production SUV, the Nemesis EXR. It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine,
Oh, what are we doing?
crammed into a
Skills.
carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
Get some air going. What's more important here, the points or the time?
This is an all-terrain supercar. That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you build an SUV with Land Rover DNA.
Fair enough. Almost level 20. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Let's go again.
Hope you're enjoying yourself. I know I am. It's great to be able to just focus on telling the story while someone else handles the driving for once. Let's get to the next one. This time, it's Lotus.
An old alarm.
Lotus Engineering Limited began as many stories in British engineering do. In an old barn. The first Lotus cars were offered as kits. You built them yourself. From 1962, they began to actually build the cars themselves. The Elan Sprint showed exactly what they intended to do. Built around a steel backbone with a fiberglass chassis, the Sprint weighed in at a meager 687 kilos parked on the curb. On the road, this translated into brilliant agility and fantastic performance. Designer Colin Chapman famously said, "Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere." He knew what he was talking about.
Turn right. In 100 meters,
Just got around
turn
there.
left.
Widely hailed as one of the greatest sports cars of the 1960s, the Elan would be closely studied and emulated, inspiring such masterpieces as the Mazda MX-5. The Elan has all the energy, style, and enthusiasm you would expect. Bold, quick, and fun. So much so that they put it in the name. The Elan Sprint was a financial as well as an engineering success for Lotus, validating their approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters. Which brings us to this, the Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much, much faster. Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect. With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising. And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 200 meters, turn left. Turn left.
In one word, Lotus is about the
Tricky one.
experience. Uncompromising, challenging. This is a car that demands you drive it well. And when you do, you'll see what the fuss is all about.
That's on me.
In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Well, I can hopefully redo just this part of it.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
Retry. Gonna pin that one on the dog barking.
Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration.
She's calmed down a
as
bit
you'd
now.
expect. With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising.
Not the best start.
And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 400 meters, turn left. Turn left. 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Missed it again.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
Yeah, 1 star again. Okay. I'll give it 1 more before we move on. There were a few things there we messed up, but...
Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect.
Didn't think we'd left that much time
With a
on the
0
table.
to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising. The Elan Sprint was a financial as well as an engineering success for Lotus, validating their approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters. Which brings us to this, the Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much, much faster.
All right.
Touch the pedal, the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect.
Back where we were in the crash.
With a
Let's see
0
if we
to
can get through
60
it.
time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising. And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 200 meters, turn left. Turn left.
In one word, Lotus is about the experience. Uncompromising, challenging. This is a car that demands you drive it well. And when you do, you'll see what the fuss is all about.
In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in
ended better.
2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
1 second off. I've seen a lot of those ones we were braking for initially. Could have been done just with a lift. That's okay. Let's move on. Hit the next chapter.
Done much rallying? That's a joke. We've all seen what you've been up to. We're doing the next bit on location. You'll see why when you get there.
To the destination we go.
Turn around when it is safe to do so. In 200 meters, turn right.
This stage, I think we're just in a straight line, huh?
Turn right.
meet up at the road again back here. All good.
In 400 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
And we're there.
Ford, that most American of cars. But the Ford Escort, oh, that's British. And more than that, the Escort would become for many synonymous with Group B. In the 70s, Ford had embraced that destiny so firmly that they'd begun their own championships to find new drivers. Drivers for cars like the RS 1800. This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine. Homologation rules required that all cars entered into the Group B production, so Ford built 200 of them. The RS 1800 raced to victory after victory across the rallying world, on almost every continent and across every terrain type imaginable. This car was basically unbeatable. The RS 1800 brought home 17 World Rally Championship victories for Ford. So, of course, Ford set out to design a better one. The RS 200 Evolution was their answer. A purpose-built rally car designed to do one thing: win Group B. With a 1.8 turbocharged Ford Cosworth BDT engine and all-wheel drive, the RS 200 had perhaps the best suspension platform of any car of its era. The chassis was fiberglass from Reliant, and the massive Ford parts bin was raided to give the car that iconic look. But while the car had potential, turbo lag at low RPM and a poor power-to-weight ratio meant that it never placed better than third. The end of Group B in the mid-80s meant the end of the RS 200 as a rallying car. Fortunately, Ford built over 200 as part of the homologation requirements for Group B, so you can still find them, if you're lucky.
I'll take that. More wheel spins so we can get more flip-flops for our guy to never wear. Oh, this
You know,
thing.
I really like this car.
The old peel.
Not that I'd want to drive it for too long. Squeeze yourself in there and let's see just how fast you can make it go. Which won't be too fast. But hey, I could be surprised. The Peel P50 has the dubious honor of being the smallest production car in the world. A one-door microcar coupe. featuring a 42cc air-cooled engine capable of a heinous 38 miles an hour. And a handle so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production version. The prototype had the single wheel at the front. Why would you think that was a good idea? In 2010, though, production restarted at Sutton in Ashfield. So, if you'd like to own the modern incarnation of this, I suppose you can.
Wouldn't really like to. So, 3 stars. That was pretty much holding the gas the entire way. Be a better exit from the driveway. Either way, we'll take it. Next chapter.
Hey there! How about a car with some actual
The old
legroom
F1.
and some actual speed? This section's about what happened when McLaren decided to make a road car. You're going to enjoy this. The track and the road have very different requirements. For McLaren, that was a challenge they were more than willing to embrace. In 1988, they set out to create the finest sports car the world has ever seen. By 1993, they had achieved their goal, and the honestly fantastic F1 was the result. 106 would be built across all variants, and it remains one of the very best road cars ever made. The F1 has no turbocharger. That would have compromised the driving experience, increased complexity, and resulted in turbo lag. The F1 is a naturally aspirated supercar, one of the fastest in the world, in fact. Everything about this car is innovative, from the carbon fiber monocoque to the central driver position. McLaren threw the book away when they designed the F1, then they wrote a better one. The F1's monocoque chassis is incredibly lightweight, only 100 kilos all told, which posed a significant challenge because carbon fiber and fiberglass aren't great insulators. So, McLaren lined the entire engine compartment with gold. In 1998, the F1 prototype set the world record for fastest production car, a record that would stand for 2 decades, until the Koenigsegg CCR claimed the crown. McLaren's racing heritage is so deeply ingrained in this machine that when they took it to Le Mans in 1995 and faced off against purpose-built racing machines, they won. So, with something like the F1 to live up to, where do you go next? Well, you throw the book away again and write an even better one. The result is the McLaren P1, a hybrid electric sports car that stands head and shoulders above the F1. The P1 GTR will hit 60 miles an hour in 2.4 seconds. That's 0.7 seconds faster than the F1. That's an eternity for a supercar. The car's blistering performance is delivered by a twin-turbo V8, supplemented by a McLaren ECU electric motor and instant power assist system. And they do mean instant.
Wrong exit. Watch the road. Take the right exit, we might have a better shot.
Remember those problems with turbo lag? McLaren solved that with the hybrid drive. While the turbos build pressure, the electric motor drives the wheels. No turbo lag, just torque. And because it's a hybrid, it has an all-electric range. Running on batteries alone, that's 6.2 miles. A bit more if you're going downhill.
Continue the story. Oh,
I quite like sleeper cars. Did Alex ever tell you the story of what we got up to in Colorado? There was this sleeper car competition, you see. Let's just say no one was ready for the sunbeam. Lotus never quite let go of the upgrade game. So in addition to building their own supercars, they upgraded cars from other marques too. The Lotus Carlton was one such aftermarket upgrade. Lotus took a respectable four-door Vauxhall saloon and turned it into a supercar. From the outside, there are a few signs that this is something special. Wider wheel arches, that sort of thing. But under the bonnet, that's where the magic starts. Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres, and twin Garrett T25 turbochargers were added. The engine block was reinforced, and new crankshafts were forged by Opel and machined in Germany.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
The tyres were widened, and the tyre compound from the Lotus Esprit was used. To handle camber change issues, they put in the self-leveling suspension from the Opel Senator. The only upgrade they didn't put in was an electronic speed limiter. All of this resulted in the Lotus Carlton, designated Type 104 by Lotus. A 177 miles per hour supercar, masquerading as a four-door saloon. That was not bad, but could we make it a little more majestic?
Can we turn right at the roundabout?
Lotus never quite let go of the upgrade game. So in addition to building their own supercars, they upgraded cars from other marques too. The Lotus Carlton was one such aftermarket upgrade. Lotus took a respectable four-door Vauxhall saloon and turned it into a supercar. From the outside, there are a few signs that this is something special. Wider wheel arches, that sort of thing. But under the bonnet, that's where the magic starts. Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres, and twin Garrett T25 turbochargers were added. The engine block was reinforced, and new crankshafts were forged by Opel and machined in Germany.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
The tyres were widened, and the tyre compound from the Lotus Esprit was used. To handle camber change issues, they put in the self-leveling suspension from the Opel Senator. The only upgrade they didn't put in was an electronic speed limiter. All of this resulted in the Lotus Carlton, designated Type 104 by Lotus. A 177 miles per hour supercar, masquerading as a four-door saloon. Only 950 of these custom gems were built, and they've become something of a modern classic. The Lotus Carlton was an example of how to turn a saloon into a supercar, but that's not the only thing Lotus got up to. In 1979, Chrysler approached Lotus to create a strict rally version of their Sunbeam three-door hatchback. Lotus, as you might imagine, rather enjoyed the challenge. They took the rear-wheel drive hatchback and changed everything that matters. They stiffened the suspension, improved the anti-roll bars, and widened the transmission tunnel. Performance was increased by fitting a 2.2-litre version of the Lotus 911 slant 4-cylinder engine, resulting in an impressive 250 brake horsepower, up from a meager 105 on the original.
Not very good at the off-road.
The Lotus Sunbeam was revealed to the public in 1979 in Geneva to widespread
Well, speed wobble.
praise in the motoring media. More importantly, the Lotus Sunbeam saw racing success too. In 1980, Henri Toivonen won the 29th Lombard RAC Rally in his Sunbeam. Makes you wonder if Lotus should do more conversion. It's a silly
Little glitch
question,
there on the
actually.
right.
Lotus should do more
Hitch in the
conversions.
suspension.
In fact, I'll call them right now.
Didn't land well. Off into the fence. Only off the 3 stars by 0.4, so we could have had that. Didn't mess that up. But we did. So we can come back at any time, pick a chapter and go for the 3 stars on the ones that have missed out. So, not the end of the world.
I honestly think these might be some of the most beautiful cars in the world. And the story of how it came about is, well, really British.
Nice
Get in the
wipers.
car and let's get this segment. Jaguar is a bit of a favourite of mine. The company is almost 100 years old and was originally founded to build sidecars for motorcycles. But this is the car that really set the bar, I think. The 1961 E-Type. When he saw it, Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. High praise indeed. He wasn't alone in his admiration. Accolades have followed this car ever since. It's been in movies, comics, games, and TV shows. Unlike some later cars in the marque, it wasn't just looks though. The E-Type was light and fast. It would do 153 miles an hour and stopped on innovative 4-wheel brakes that were better than anything Ferrari or Porsche or even Mercedes-Benz had. It was solid too, with a design based on the D-Type that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 3 years in a row.
You go straight
At
through.
the roundabout, take the second exit. Turn around
That's
when
a
it
yes.
is safe to do so.
Anyone who owns an E-Type will tell you
Need to
that
be
the
on the other
key to
side of
their
the road, though.
reliability is to drive them regularly, as if you'd need the excuse.
need to not do that.
About 2,500 were built.
We made it.
And they're a common sight at auto shows. And
Barely.
surprisingly reasonably priced. All in all, an almost perfect Jaguar. The E-Type was the successor to the Le Mans winning D-Type. But what would that look like if Jaguar designed it today? In 2013, Jaguar answered that question with the F-Type Project 7, a spiritual successor to the E-Type, and designed from the ground up to be the purest, most enjoyable Jaguar yet. The car's heritage is proudly displayed in the gorgeous D-Type curves and the distinctive aero hunch behind the driving position. But like the E-Type, it's not just a pretty face. Powered by a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine, with a fully aluminium body, it's blisteringly fast, with a 0 to 60 speed of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. A car as beautiful as this must surely have been a carefully authored design. Actually, it started as a sketch by designer César Pierre, thrown together one Friday in his free time. Jaguar's design director, Ian Callum, saw the sketch in a thumbnail on César's computer during a meeting and asked him what it was. The rest is history. "250 Project 7s were built, as both a successor to the E-Type and as a celebration of Jaguar's victories at Le Mans.
That's going to hurt us.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
I think I speak for all of us when I say, thank heavens for César's Friday afternoon doodle.
We're outside the time. That's to be expected. Not the best driving. Your 3 stars, you'd need a better line through that roundabout. There's no way you're actually taking the roundabout and getting 3 stars though.
We're almost done, but we saved the good stuff for last. A spot of
Mini.
rallying in the most British car of them all. Get in, strap in, and let's nail this one. There is one car built in Great Britain that is, quite fairly, considered one of the most influential cars of the century. It's a surprisingly spacious little city car, with a side-mounted engine. It's an icon of popular culture. It's been built on every continent where there's a car factory. It's the Mini. The Mini Cooper S was built to be a performance machine, with deeper engines, twin carburetors, and front disc brakes. This scrappy little machine would go on to achieve more than 30 racing victories in the 1960s and 1970s. A Mini Cooper S flying number 37 placed first at the 1964 Monte Carlo Rally. Driven by Paddy Hopkirk and Henry Liddon, This was the last time an all-British crew would win the event. But not the last time a Mini would. At Monte Carlo in 1966, Minis took the first, second, and third positions. They were all disqualified because they had dimming headlamps, not because they were winning everything in sight. In 1999, the Car of the Century Award was presented to the most influential car of the 20th century. The Mini came second. It was beaten by the Model T Ford. That's fair, I suppose. 5.3 million Minis would be sold, making it the most popular British car.
Thing's a little rocket. We got the modern one now, or?
And then in 2000, BMW resumed production of the Mini, breathing new life into the iconic mark. If the Mini of the 1960s had its sights set on the roads of Monte Carlo, the X-Rayed Countryman has its eyes on something a little tougher. The deserts and rough terrain of the Dakar, for starters. A wit once said that the only thing Mini in this monster was the pedal. That's rather missing the point, I think. The X-Rayed Countryman is much, much bigger than the Mini Cooper. It has to be. A stage of the Dakar demands literally tons of gear. You could call it a tank. It does rather sound like one.
Oop.
Turn around.
That's gonna hurt. Doesn't break enough for the corner.
When Mini's X-Rayed division set out to build this thing, they had one goal in mind: winning the Dakar. And they did, every year, from 2012 to 2015.
In 400 meters, turn right.
It's designed to be driven for 2 weeks over deserts and badlands, 5 kilometers above sea level. And it still handles like a hot hatch on a nice bit of dry ice. Owners come and go. The heritage of a car like the Mini is more than who owns the keys to the shop. I fully expect to see Mini's wings flying for another century.
Bit different for the old girl.
This is quite the story. Bentley at Le Mans in the 1930s. Gentleman racers, heroic driving, and a personal hero of mine. Take good care of the cars, though. Both of them are mine. Bentley, a company founded in 1919 in Cricklewood, North London, and purchased by Rolls-Royce in the 30s. A company synonymous with both racing and luxury. Perhaps the best example I know of those two extremes of British engineering. For almost a century, every Bentley was hand-built to exacting standards. So at the beginning of the 21st century, when Bentley revealed their first mass-produced car, there were a great many questions. The car was the Continental GT, an elegant grand tourer that combined a racetrack pedigree with exquisite style and all the power you could need.
Little damage bar on this one to watch out for, as well as the timer. So a little fence
The
trip didn't
move to
help.
mass production has done nothing to blunt the Bentley experience. The 2017 Continental Supersport is responsive, fast, and beautifully designed.
I'll take the
It brings
poles over
together
head on with another
all-wheel
car.
drive, carbon fiber bonnet sides and side skirts to create the most powerful, performance-focused car the company has ever built.
Thanks for the follow.
But never forget, Bentley's pedigree is racing, and the Bentley Continental embraces that. In 2007, a largely standard Continental Speed GT broke Bugatti's record for the flying kilometre on the frozen Baltic Sea. And then in 2011, they broke their own record. 205 miles an hour, both ways, on ice. Even when building these gorgeous Grand Tourers, Bentley is driven to excellence. Today, Bentley means modern, peerless luxury and elegance. But that's far from the full story.
There you go, mate.
A century ago, Bentley meant something else entirely. It meant Le Mans. In 1930, eccentric race team owner Dorothy Paget financed a rather special Bentley at the Le Mans. It was a 4.5-litre supercharged masterpiece, driven by Sir Henry Bentley Boy Birkin. It posted the fastest time on the day, but it failed to finish.
Oh, this is going to be painful.
What a race it was. Sir Henry's courageous driving forced Rudolf Caracciola's 7-litre Mercedes out of the race at the cost of his own victory. But in doing so, he handed the day to the Bentley Sixes. A gentleman racer indeed. Sir Henry knew he didn't have anything to prove. In 1929, the adventurer Mrs. Mary Victor Bruce had already driven the resolutely modern 4.5-litre Bentley at Montlhéry, setting distance, speed and endurance records.
Cut this corner as
The
fine
Bentley's
as possible.
performance so annoyed Ettore Bugatti that he called it the world's fastest lorry. The blower had the last laugh, though. In 2012, it was sold at auction for over £4 million, which is more than enough to buy a Veyron and a racing truck, if you're keeping score.
Just missed the third. Need to get closer to the water next time.
Like I told them, can't make a film about car culture around here without you in it, can they? I'll let you know if they need you back.
Alrighty. Give this one another crack. Over that third star on the peel.
You know, I really like this car. Not that I'd want to drive it for too long. Squeeze yourself in there and let's see just how fast you can make it go. Which won't be too fast. But hey, I could be surprised. The Peel P50 has the dubious honour of being the smallest production car in the world. A one-door microcar coupe, featuring a 42cc air-cooled engine capable of a heinous 38 miles an hour. And a handle so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production version. The prototype had the single wheel at the front. Why would you think that was a good idea? In 2010, though, production restarted at Sutton in Ashfield. So, if you'd like to own the modern incarnation of this, I suppose you can.
What? Didn't that say 69 for 3 stars and we hit 69? Let me try that once more.
The Peel P50 has the dubious honour of being the smallest production car in the
69
world.
kilometres an hour,
A
3
one-door
stars.
microcar coupe, featuring a 42cc air-cooled engine capable of a heinous 38 miles an hour. And a handle so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production version. The prototype had the single wheel at the front. Why would you think that was a good idea?
Come on.
In 2010, though, production restarted at Sutton in Ashfield.
I
So,
think she's getting any
if
faster
you'd
than
like to
69.
own the modern incarnation of this, I suppose you can.
Okay. Guess we won't be getting 3 stars then. Fair enough. What else we got? What's the next one? The stunt driver. Never finished that one.
You have arrived at your destination. In 200 meters, turn right. Turn right. In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right.
I'm back on this Frankie Beaumont movie. The producers tell me they're nearly finished adding driving scenes. I told them now you're here, they can have as many as they want. The route is just south of the Lake District. Looks like we're going cross-country on this one. Stunt unit and stunt vehicle are on site. See you there.
Alright, out to the lake we go.
In 400 meters, turn right. Turn Turn right. In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right.
Take a shortcut.
Recalculating route.
Well, that sucks. Oi, oi, oi. So we can't respawn, can't fast travel. Just in the nick of time.
In 400 meters, turn sharp left.
Can't use it.
Ah,
Don't ask
so
why.
close.
Afraid I have to ask you to saddle up and go again.
Be less off-roading this time.
Stunt unit and stunt vehicle are on site. See you there.
In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right. In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right. 200 meters, turn sharp left. Turn sharp left.
And we're there.
Lovely. I can see why you'd want to shoot something here. I thought the producers might be going for a big emotional moment. You know, beautiful landscapes and soaring music. And it's a nice route along Derwentwater, but... you're driving this. Oh well. All that power and suspension gets me pretty emotional, to know about you. This is it. Scene 48A. Speed drive. Action! Rough terrain ahead. Take it off-road if you have to.
Multiplier going.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Doing well, but you're still holding back. You can do better.
Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Oh, still I reached the destination.
Recalculating route. In 400 meters, turn left. In 400 meters, turn right. Turn right.
Coming up on a jump. Let's get all four wheels off the ground. Yes!
Aye, aye, aye. Someone said that's only two wheels.
That's what I'm talking about. Brilliant!
Psst. I don't think we're going to make it.
You okay? Looked a bit rough. We'll set it up and go again.
Spent too long faffing around at the start. Didn't realise we had to also make the destination. I misread the screen.
This is it. Scene 48A. Speed drive. Action! Rough terrain ahead. Take it off-road if you have to.
200 meters, turn right. Turn right.
Coming up on a jump. Let's get all four wheels off the ground.
These points in the bank.
Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Brilliant!
No point having double the points you need if you clip a tree at the end and lose everything.
Come on, with some feeling. Throw it out sideways for the cameras, but watch those trees.
In 400 meters, turn right.
Just a little more rough terrain and you're through. Maybe it's a metaphor for the characters in the movie. I don't know.
In 100 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
Outstanding! Let's see the real Frankie Beaumont drive like that. They should just make this movie about you, kid.
We'll take the 3. Continue it on. Should be the last chapter, I believe. I think we had 2 to go when we started.
All right, kid. This is it. Your final
rest of-
gig doubling for Frankie Beaumont. The climax of that movie we started shooting all those months ago. That is, assuming they don't write in a new ending. Doesn't matter. We're going as big as we can on this one. You with me?
What are we doing?
Stunt unit is set up near the old airstrip. You can take the stunt vehicle, but usual drill, yeah, no damage.
In 400 meters, turn right.
Tiptoe past the cars so we don't damage it.
Turn right. In 400 meters, turn left. Turn left.
Fair hike out to this stunt. 5 kilometers to go.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Try and take it properly without damage. this is long enough, we should be able to make that time back up. Those tunnel effects are very nice.
Turn right. In 400 meters, turn right.
That's gonna hurt.
Turn right.
There we go. We're moving the last pieces into position now.
Alright, what
We've
are
got
we
a
doing?
series of 3 jumps separated by railway wagons. I need you to stick to your route and hit them all hard and fast. You're a professional stunt driver now. Kid, honestly, I'm not sure if you're the hero or the villain or what this movie is even about anymore. All I know is, it's a pleasure watching you drive.
3 jumps.
Brickleg. Scene 99A. Railway Showdown. Action! Straight down to the first ramp. According to the script... who cares about the script?
In 400 meters, turn sharp left. Turn sharp left. In 400 meters, turn left. Turn left.
Keep it on the road through this hard turn. You'll need the speed for your next jump. Coming up on the next jump. Remember, any landing you drive away from is a good one.
In 400 meters, turn right.
Last turn. If you want to cut across the farmland, do it. But do it fast.
Turn right.
Final jump. This is the big one. Take it low or take it high. Your choice.
I'll take it horrendously.
Cut! Wow! Oh, I never thought I'd say this, kid, but couldn't have done it better myself. Thank you. Oh, and I spoke to the producers. Would you be up for some acting lessons? Seems you're a lot more fun to work with than Frankie Beaumont.
Sounds like you've impressed Mike. And trust me, Mike is not an easy man to impress. I'll let you know when you get a call back.
Okie dokie. Just what we always wanted. Look, we'll take the HQ Sandman. Take that as well. What have we got here? The world's fastest rentals. Alrighty. Where's the home? So we've done British Racing Green. We've got a few stars left there. Heap of stars left there. We've got another story one here. Another one here. And the Drifteroonie. But we might jump into Lego Valley. Got a few off-road ones left to go in the Speed Champions. So let's get an expansion appropriate car. As much as I like that Aston, it's a little too round. Lego. And we're going off road. So I'll take the Mini for a spin. Should have actually looked at what the daily challenges were. We've done that weekly one. What do we got here? Lightning Bolt. Win 2 road sprint events and 1 star or better on any drift zone. Look, I can do that. We will grab a road car for those. Get those knocked out before we go on to the dirt ones, because we can do the dirt ones at any time. Whereas those ones have a time limit on them. Lego. Oh, look. The Senna is the better car, but there's something about that Lego Ferrari. Okay, so we need a drift zone. And 2 sprint races. There's a sprint race, there's sprint races there. Where's a drift zone? Right here. Let's go. Speed zone. So pulling the handbrake on, not ideal.
You have arrived at your destination.
Let's try that again. Ah, that was the drift zone. Next one up. It's ugly. Oops. When I say I cannot drift, this is exactly what I mean.
You have arrived at your destination.
It's got to be good for 1 star, surely. couple of sprint events. Road Racing Series, let's go. Oh, it's overcast. Got a couple of little alien ones up. We'll knock over. The other time I go hunting for those, the sun comes out.
In 200 meters, turn left. Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Alrighty.
You have arrived at your destination.
Let's do it. Stiff competition. Watch the road. Stay between the flags. Oi, 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 oi. Not a great start. Halfway. Not enough top speed to bring them back. Let's give it another go. Actually, where are we? Okay, so the FXXK at 989 is the highest. But we're still up there. I'm pretty sure we've already won this one. We may have done it in the Lego Mini though. Before we had the F40 unlocked. stay with them and just get that same high-speed run at the end going. Might be okay. Still have to get past another couple at least before then. P4. Definitely getting left behind coming out of the corners. Here we go. Not going to be enough for the win, I don't think. Toughen out. May need a faster car. Okie dokie. This one going over here. Let me check that other one counted off. Yes, it did, the drift, so 2 road sprint events. That one will do.
Turn right. Turn left. You have arrived at your destination.
These bonus blocks before we start the race. Alright, let's see what the old girl can do. See if we need to go back and get the center. I guess we could upgrade it, but I'd rather leave it as standard. That thing just strolls away. That's probably the race. Down the inside. Alright, let's do another one. That was that one, let's do this one.
In 100 meters, turn left. Turn around when it is safe to do so. You have arrived at your destination.
More driving like a maniac. Wet track doesn't help. It's probably hurting them more than it's hurting me, which is alright. Good times. Do 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 do. Two road sprint events. Ah, they were circuits. Not good times. Well, it's better than a floral top. Let's try that again. Actually, if we're coming down here, let's grab the center. Alrighty. And the blue with orange is someone's livery they made. It's not one you can choose. So if anyone's looking for that, it's in the livery download section. I didn't make it, but I like the look of it. And Billy Bob has joined the convoy. Can you hear me, Phil? Hello. Do 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 do. So already in the convoy. Do I need any audio settings on? Hello, Philip. Um, Are there any? Oh, okay. Yeah, man.
Yo, there you go, mate.
Good, mate. Yeah, I don't know
Not
what
really sure how to find you.
Yep, so you just see me on the map. I saw you a little while back.
Huh. I had a destination up and I thought it was picking you, so I went to it.
I can see you, I'll come down to you. So I don't know what you got to do to get the voice to work in this without the party crap.
I'm in the stockpile.
Is your mic up? So I can barely hear you.
Right now.
That's about the same.
How about now?
A little better.
So I'm down the settings.
What's that?
I'll go into the settings and turn it up a bit.
Cool. Can you hear me alright?
Yeah, no problem at all.
Cool. What's that?
Can't seem to turn it up.
Oh, that sounded better, whatever you just did then. I'll just check if there's anything on my end.
How about now?
Hey, that's pretty good. Just say something again now.
How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'll turn the engine noise and things down a bit.
Okay. I see you. I'm not really sure what I'm meant to be doing. I earned my house.
Yep. So there's a couple of races that I'll need to grab that mini. So just one sec.
So you gotta earn enough bricks to get your car there.
Yeah. As you're going through it, you get like the house upgrades, and then the cars are scattered in there. But we can do some off-roading and get some blocks. Oh, where were you at the stunt zone? Okay, so I've put a thing on your map, on your marker.
Turn
Oh, yeah.
around
So-
when it is safe
Should be
to
close
do so.
by. I'll be down there in a jiffy.
In 400 meters, turn left.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Right on the spot. Okay. Did you say you're on PC or on the Xbox?
This is on the Xbox.
Okay. Maybe the convoy crap doesn't work cross-play. But you'd think it would.
Yeah. I needed to get it working downstairs so I can talk. Probably
Yeah,
a little louder too.
The other thing would be in the audio settings, was your microphone set to on?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah, that's about the only setting I
I
could
did
see
see
for
that just. Nice. Nice little dance there.
Look, my dude does as little as possible.
You see my guy?
Was your dude the one in all white?
Yes.
Okay. You're not quite at Alan's level,
That's
wearing chainmail.
right. Was he?
Yeah, it's disturbing. Alright. So just try and finish as high as possible. Points for each pass. Things like that.
Is there any rewind?
I don't think so in online. You could try it. It might just respawn you back though. It won't Bring everyone back.
Oh, I didn't like the puddle.
Yeah, you gotta hit them straight.
So these all are mine below.
No, I think it's AI. It's us two versus AI. That'll do.